In exactly 6 months' time, I'll be competing for a spot on the Hong Kong climbing team, aiming for a spot at the IFSC Climbing World Cups. I was only one spot away last year, so I'm about to do the biggest change ever since I started climbing. I'm moving to Tokyo for the next 6 months. Ooh! Let's go. We're just getting started. If you've been following this channel for the past couple of years, you know that I've been trying to become a professional climber for about 6 years now. As an 18-year-old kid who just got into university doing a degree that I hated, I thought going to the World Cups was the only way to make climbing my job, and that was sort of the initial push to become a professional climber. It was about 3 years ago that I started documenting my journey on this channel. Thanks to you guys watching those videos, I think I can now say making YouTube videos about climbing is sort of my job. And in some mind-bending, twisty sort of way, I've essentially done what I set out to do at the start. I get to climb all the time and I make my living through climbing. I also get to have all these unbelievable experiences. So why do I still want to go to the World Cups? I fell in love with climbing because I love that feeling of progression. Progressing in climbing feels like getting better at a game that has unlimited levels and unlimited maps to unlock. I haven't even mentioned the best part about this game. Just like any other game, the best part is that you get to play with other people. The World Cups feels like the only thing in climbing where so many of the top elite climbers are going for the exact same goal. It feels like it's the only place in climbing where I can meet people just as crazy as I am. That right there is exactly why competition climbing is the best game in climbing for me. And I just want to freaking play, man. I just want to be a part of it. After that massive detour, let's get back to the point of this video. Why the hell am I moving to Japan? The first reason is definitely because Tokyo has the highest concentration of high quality and hard indoor boulders in the whole world. There's not even anywhere close to the density of hard bouldering gyms that Tokyo offers. There's so many climbing gyms here with boulders I can't even touch. It's just amazing. Whether it's back home or in other climbing gyms in the world, there'll be maybe 5 boulders in the climbing gym that I can't do. But here, in most climbing gyms, there'll be like 20, 30, or like way more boulders that I can't even touch. Just so many more opportunities for me to learn. There's just nothing like it. Okay, so the boulders here are hard, but if I just wanted boulders that will challenge me and boulders that I can't do, I could have easily just stayed at home, get on the system board, and there'll be thousands of boulders I can't do, right? The point of the boulders here is that they are challenging me in this really specific kind of way. They're designed specifically to challenge competition climbers. I'm not just talking about those coordination style boulders. Even the power boulders here, they're so complex and like little subtleties. That's going to be what comes up in the comps, and I really need to prep for those. Go. And the second reason for me to move to Tokyo is the people. Of course, most of the Japanese team lives in Tokyo. A lot of world-class climbers come all the way to Tokyo to train, not to mention all the thousands of Japanese crushers who you've never heard about. Of course, I would love to session with these top climbers. If anyone wants to session together, let me know. But that's not the exact reason for me to be here. I think even if I'm not climbing with these top climbers, just being surrounded by that energy of everyone working towards a similar goal, it's just gonna push me so much more. It will elevate the good days and it will definitely make the bad days a lot more tolerable. And that's why I'm here. Oh my god, look at that tree. That's insane. So how long am I staying here for? I'm going to stay here until March of 2026, and that's when the Hong Kong Bouldering Championships is happening. For Hong Kong, only the top 2 athletes can go to the World Cups. So the goal of the trip is pretty simple. I have to win. A little side note, this year, the top climbers in the team have made semi-finals in a World Cup. So that is essentially the level I need to get to by the end of this trip. 6 months is definitely a pretty long time. So I've set myself some benchmarks in between now and March to firstly keep myself on track, and secondly, perhaps more importantly, to just have a stack of undeniable evidence that I'm capable of winning. I've gotten better as a climber, so on the day there'll be no doubt whatsoever. There's so many mosquitoes. So itchy. The mosquitoes got me so bad. They're getting me. My first benchmark is to climb a 2D, green tape, second hardest grade in B pump Ogi Kubo. This benchmark is definitely to see if my max grade has gotten better after 6 months. You might think it's a bit weird to base one of my benchmarks on some indoor grading. Many of you have probably seen videos of B pump before. The main reason for me to choose B pump grades as my benchmark is that so many world-class athletes go through there. And from my time of training there in the past, I now know what grades on average those World Cup climbers, those semi-final climbers can climb in B pump. And yeah, from my experience, this is probably equivalent to a V13 on the Kyoto board. That green tape, that 2D second hardest grade level is definitely where your project grade has to be if you want to show that you're capable of making a semi-finals in the World Cups. Last year when I was here, I was able to climb the grade below that. So I'm only asking for, one jump in grade after more than a year. And my second benchmark, which is also based on B pump grades, is to climb 10 of the 1D grade, brown tape, third hardest grade in B pump. I want to be able to climb this grade for every single style. That includes power, coordination, slab, technical climbs, just everything, My third and last benchmark, which is probably the most important one, is to do well in a competition before the Hong Kong Champs. Looking at why I failed last year, I think a big part of it was because I couldn't try hard on my very first goal. I was hesitating, I didn't believe in myself enough, and therefore I couldn't extract 100% from my performance. When things got tough, when the pressure was piling up, I couldn't climb freely, and therefore I wasn't being myself and gave myself a pretty bad chance of completing the boulders. I have to get used to performing under pressure, and there's nothing like a competition to prepare myself for competitions. I easily could have picked some strength benchmarks, like hanging on the edge or something like that, but I think those are good as a sign of whether or not you've gotten stronger, but they're not the perfect thing, to show whether or not you have gotten better as a climber. I think the benchmarks I picked are all ultra specific to my goal, and they truly reflect a high-level competition climber. Are my benchmarks and my goals scary? Yeah, definitely. I even feel a little bit embarrassed to say them out loud, but then based on the work I've put in the past, the progression I felt, and now that I have come to the best place on the planet to get better at climbing, this is my biggest chance. This is it. This is for all the money. At the end of the day, I just really want to make it. So what's the worst that can happen, eh? Oh, and I definitely want to learn Japanese too. That's definitely an extra goal, in these 6 months. In the past, I've definitely waited until after the fact to tell you guys how it went, but this time around, I want to bring you along with me every step of the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. I've also created a Patreon page where I post outtakes and snippets from old videos. So please check that out. It'll really help me out. If you have got any questions about my move to Tokyo or my training for the next 6 months, comment them down below and I'll try and answer them in the next video of this Tokyo training series. I'll see you on the next one.